All right, guys, this one's gonna be good. This one ruffled quite a few feathers. It's actually quite a good read. So, and I have a little tangent on this as well. Not in like an angry tangent, but more as like a, oh by the way kind of thing. But anyway, let's get into this here. This is called mouse and keyboard producers. Oh man. I've been writing and producing music for a while, and so has a friend of mine. Every time we talk, we inevitably end up talking about music production. YouTube tutorials, and whatever else. One concept that always comes up is the idea of producers who have only ever tried to make music on a computer and in doing so have an incomplete sense of music production because they've never interacted with instruments in any impactful way. We always refer to these as mouse and keyboard producers. I kind of want to see how that situation comes down to it, right? You're just two guys, we're two guys talking about music, hanging out, and you're like, you know what? Those keyboard and mouse, like, what's up with that? What's up with that? That's crazy, right? They've never touched a didgeridoo in their lives. Get bent. This may sound like some elitist label, a little bit. Um, I put on people I think are noobs, but this isn't the case at all. In fact, I think it's great that these people found music production, and I'd like to help them as much as possible. So what's funny about that is, so I started originally with piano and guitar, like real instruments for sure. And once I found out, I was like, "Oh my god, you can actually make music on a computer." Whoa, kaboom! That was a crazy thought process to me. And I got like FL4 or 3 or something like that way back when, and it was amazing. I was like, you can I was like, "I can be the drummer, I can be the bassist, the guitarist, the keyboardist, the synth guy, and the singer at the same. I can do it all. Hell yeah, sign me up. Because before to do that, I mean, you would need to buy your own drums, which can get expensive, your guitars, your amps, your microphones, and how you gonna record it all? You gotta hire someone. This is way back when interfaces weren't just like a click on Amazon. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of blew my mind. A little bit more on that later. But I feel like this is a group of producers who don't really get catered to as much with tutorials, but maybe I'm just not seeing those vids suggested. I don't know, but just wanted to put this out there as a conversation starter because I wonder if other producers see the same trends with newer producers. I mean, it's a weird concept to me how this could be just a topic of discussion. It's like this guy only keys in stuff. It's like, okay, I don't like what's the thing? What right? I don't get that. Just for context, me and my friend have played various instruments throughout time. Well, that's good. Before really honing in our production skills. So there's just things that are obvious to us when it comes to programming, writing parts, or even sound designing that we don't really think about anymore that could be helpful for beginners or producers who lean more to the mouse and keyboard side of things. That's a valid point. Let's say you're a drummer and you start getting into music production, you're going to have a feel of how the rhythm goes. So when you start to key stuff in, if you decide to do that, then you're going to kind of understand where that fill should go. Are you going to do some weird like flam on the snare drum or, whatever technique you want to implement into the computer? The computer can do it, but you have the knowledge and the experience of doing that. So yes, that is a valid point in that sense. And then here's the edit. This is always good. I see people feel strongly about this topic and seem to have taken offense to what I said. Well, yeah, I mean, when you kind of like reduce somebody to mouse and keyboard musicians, I mean, that's you kind of have it coming. I also never said that mouse and keyboard producers were inferior. I mean, you didn't have to. In fact, a lot of you cited Dead Mouse and MNK producer. Oh, mouse and keyboard again, right? We're abbreviating now, guys. And he's a foundational reason I started making electronic music in the first place. So you should have led with that one. That would have been probably a better timeline. The point of this post was to try and pull out some conversation from people who feel they have knowledge gaps where learning a bit about instruments could help. I mean, not to say that one's like better or worse. I mean, they can both be great, but it's not, it's weird. It's like imagine if I'm a guitar player, I'm like, how do left-handed people play guitar? That's weird, right? I mean, L-handed guitars. I don't know. It's kind of a strange concept to me. Um, this guy says, I'm a mouse and keyboard producer fully, and I feel the pain with instrumentation a lot. Struggling with even experimenting with chord shapes in real time is awful. But you know what I do? I play slow as possible when I record and can stretch the MIDI regions to playback 500% in one click. I mean, there are some advantages that you can't really do in real life, but like in real instrumentation that you can do in the computer. They're both great worlds, right? They're not mutually exclusive places. Sometimes it can be, but you know what I'm saying. Most real instrument players, though, very few of those guys can actually mix and do sound design. If they could, then all the people at the top of the industry would be ripping solos and jazz improv. Whoops, hit the question mark button there. But yeah, that's kind of a it's if anybody has ever seen Captain Planet, right? When they have all like the rings and they're, we're Captain Planet. I'm pretty sure it's Captain Planet. But it's kind of like that, right? I mean, that's why there's session guitar players and just session musicians in general, because they have a skill they bring to the table. And yeah, so do people, mouse and keyboardists, I guess. I used to be kind of both, and I've kind of more went into the mouse and keyboard route only I think for the ease of use, and it's so much faster to get everything plugged in, I suppose, or just get started. Open up a fresh session in your DAW and then load up a synth and then you're good to go, right? Stuff nowadays is pretty cool. And it's a lot cheaper too, so that's something there. But there are stuff like I would say that's kind of hard to emulate is an actual good guitar player. I mean, you can get to a point and do that with some plugins, which it can be convincing, but there's just something about the articulation and the recording sometimes. Even if you go DI and you use amp sims or you actually mic up a cab, I mean, there's the thing to that. There's a vibe to that, which I don't think will ever really go away. DAWs, guitars, mice, keyboards of the piano and QWERTY variety, my man, are just tools, as are some people who post on Reddit. Oof. Interesting. Okay. It's wild to me that you think tutorials are catered to your mouse and keyboard producers, since in my experience, the production engineering side of things is all about doing things in the DAW, and so most tutorials focus on that and don't assume that you use any particular real musical instruments. I mean, there's courses and stuff for everything. Like I remember a great channel on YouTube. I don't know if it's still around, but it was called Justin Guitar, and he was great. I learned a lot from the guy. So yeah. Damn dude, LMAO posting this in the EDM production sub is Beatty AF. It kind of is. I'm a musician. I play drums, guitar, and piano, and I already had a comprehensive formal education in music theory before I started even listening to EDM, let alone making it. The thing that will make the biggest difference in your songwriting in general is how far down the music theory rabbit hole you go. If playing an instrument helps with that, it does. Great. Also, lots of people who play musical instruments don't care to know theory and are just happy to just read tabs and let someone else do the writing. It's also true. The thing about EDM specifically, though, understanding music theory is not a requirement for making a banger. Picking a key or chords is not even a requirement. EDM is not particularly known for being very complex musically, and that's not to say that it never is, because it definitely can be, but rather to say that the success of your song has way more to do with the sound design than anything else. On this note, I would say so. There's always been this, especially when dubstep first came out, there was a lot of people who loved it, a lot of people who hated it. It was strange to me at first, I'll be honest here. But there's something you have to give the dubstep genre is that it takes skill to make that genre, and that's almost exclusively mouse and keyboard. So when you hear some of these songs and you are maybe a musician or sound designer, just pause for a moment. Even if you hate the song or like the song, could you do that? Could you make that dubstep song that you're listening to? Oh, this thing sucks. Just computer stuff. It's like, okay, well, sure, maybe, but can you make it? It's pretty good, right? It's the skills that it takes to make a good dubstep song are pretty crazy. So, and I'm not even a dubstep guy, but when I listen to it, I'm like, that's some intricate sound design, some modulation, how they use FM to make really crazy sounds and just stuff you never really expect. There's so much sound design that goes into that genre, and a lot for EDM in general, but specifically with dubstep, it's crazy. It's insane. If you go look online and maybe search for some people like showing their sessions in some of the dubstep stuff, and you're going to be pretty surprised. Like, holy crap, I didn't even know that was possible in sound design. So just wanted to throw that one out there. So before this one gets a little bit too long here, so maybe we can go through one or two more of these. Maybe elaborate on what you believe are the missing concepts. This post just reads like gamer shit talk. I don't really know what that means. Gamer shit talk. I've never really heard that, so I don't know. For real, there's no point to this post besides to throw shade. Yeah, I suppose so. Why do those keyboard and mouse? They should pick up a real guitar and be like a real man. That's how you do it. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're making music, right? Doesn't matter. Just make your music. If you go keyboard and mouse, great. If you just you should record your stuff and that's it, great. I mean, it's about music, you know. Okay, one last one here. I have played musical instruments since I was 8 years old and can read and write sheet music, and it was absolutely no bearing on how I produce on the mouse and keyboard. I would do it exactly the same if I hadn't got these musical skills. You're not being elitist, just ignorant. There is absolutely no need for anyone to have played real instruments before creating music with a mouse and keyboard, and in fact, a lot of the top producers of today and yesteryear never played music or used real instruments. Something to think about. So, yeah, interesting post. I kind of wanted to bring this one up too as well because I know probably a lot of us started maybe just with a computer and a DAW, and then you get plugins and synthesizers and stuff, and you kind of just go for it, you know, because instruments can be pretty expensive, right? At least good ones. And then that whole timeline, if you go, I don't know, brass, who knows what, it can get pricey. So, yeah, something to think about. Curious about your thoughts. Did you guys start off as a mouse and keyboard, or did you start off with instruments and then you went to both, or you know, what was your path into this world that we all share now? So, yeah, thank you for watching. Look forward to seeing what you guys have to say, and we'll see you in the next one.